welcome back. So joining us to discuss how it takes a village, meaning lots of women thrive through mentorship and community, is the founder of Defining Women's Lifestyle, DWL Fashion, Ivie Osula, and the CEO founder of PoshClick Photography, Jokotade Shonowo. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Good to have you. Guys look amazing.
Thank you. I mean, fashion girly.
Yes, so I can see that. So let me start with you, Ivie. Your brand, DWL, is all about positioning women to feel confident through their lifestyle and fashion. So tell us exactly how you think style influences a woman's mindset and success.
Oh, I can write a book about that. I mean, that's how I got into fashion myself. Being a fashion girl at work, wearing 5-inch heels, pencil dresses, dressing like Oliver Pope to work, and then colleagues said, okay, fill us in, and then the brand was birthed. So I know that saying, dress the way you want to be addressed is very important. And I would always choose personal style, elevated personal style over trends. And that's where DWL comes in.
I like that, elevated personal style over trends.
Yeah.
Why are we elevating
I gotta write that down.
Why the elevation?
Because
you have to improve your personal
walk
style.
into a room and take up space. And let it start from how you even look. Then coupled with the fact that you're now smart. I mean, that's, you know, so that's one of the things that DWL pushes. It's not just dressing women in suits. We do tailored suits, but it's about the fact that we want to empower women to show up every day in elevated versions of themselves through the power of dressing. I mean, that's what we do. And then I always ensure that when I work with women, both as a wardrobe consultant, we ensure that you know your style, or we help you find your style and then dress in ways exactly.
Fantastic.
Amazing. Yeah, so let me come to PoshClick. And you are into photography. It's a male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
And sometimes a lot of women who find themselves in male-dominated industries have this imposter syndrome, where they are thinking, am I good enough? Would they like my work? Would they come and buy? What do you think has set you apart? And how has mentorship, if you had any, helped you grow your business?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I think it's about the umpteenth time I'll be answering that question, and I'll answer it differently today. So while as Jokotade, I'm a person, I am driven, right? So when I have a goal to reach, I don't see myself as a woman. So I'm either going for it like a man or just like a normal person.
Right.
So first thing is, I don't see myself as a woman, and so I don't see challenges. I only see goals that need to be achieved, and I go for it. But second thing I'll talk about is the feminine edge. As women, we have natural traits, you know, that make us stand out. We have attention to detail. We are nurturing. We are able to connect deeply with people.
Yes.
So I use all of these innate womanly tendencies, you know, to connect with my clients, see them as they are. I'm a woman, a plus-size woman, for that matter. So when a plus-size lady comes to me, I understand your struggles. You don't need to say too much. I know the things I need to hide. I know the curves I need to showcase.
You know the right poses.
Exactly. So you see, that's my superpower, right? So just bring yourself to me, plain as you are, and just hand over yourself, and you can be sure that you work out, you know, regaining your confidence, finding a different side to yourself, you know, than you've ever, you know, seen.
Let me stay with you for a second, because I know mentorship is part of the question she asked. How has mentorship helped your business?
Mentorship has been the bedrock of photography for me, because in coming into photography, I've met so many people along the line, women, men, but I'll touch more on the women. One, I would say, is Mrs. Des. I've been talking a lot about her lately, you know, and, you know, the role she's played in my life, mentoring me through, even teaching me new things, supporting me, showing me what my true value is, you know, paying me more than I thought I deserved at the time, connecting me with other women, you know, who have also formed the PoshClick family, right? And then so I'll also say my mentor, T.Y. Bello, who also allowed me come into her space, you know, allowed me see what it looks like, you know, going for a portrait session. And it was at that time that I thought, okay, you know what, I think I've found what I'm going to do and I'm going to stay here.
Fantastic.
So I'm doing this because she did.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
YK.
So, my question is for
Ivie.
Ivie. So, as an entrepreneur, what has been your biggest challenge, and how did mentorship help you?
My story into entrepreneurship is not the average. You go to fashion school, you learn this, you did that. I have a 14-year career in finance. Yeah, I was doing fashion on the side, like I said, and then from the colleagues saying, make something for me, I think I can do that. My first order was, I'm going to a conference in Paris. I want to walk into the room and look at Oliver Pope. And I said I can do it, and I didn't know how to make the suit she wanted. But I went first run, second run, and by the time, I was ready, she came back from the suit, like, Ivie, I walked into the room and I took up space. Everybody wanted to. And then that's when I realized, hey, come on, this is not just you dress well, you dress people well. And that's how it started. So you can imagine that I didn't learn the ropes of you do this, you do that. I had a finance background, so I could do my books, but that's not all you need. There's marketing, there's all that. So I had to learn these ropes the non-traditional way. But to the question, and now I've gotten it right. This is 8 years in the game, so I've gotten it right. The question about the biggest issues, it will be labor. I mean, labor in Nigeria and everywhere in the world, but heavy Nigeria is daunting. I live in Qatar. I shuttle between Qatar and Nigeria, so I see what I struggle with. The difference in Nigeria, I struggle with mediocrity, with artisans. But my longest staff has been with me for 8 years now. So we've seen the transition from arguing with them back and forth. I won't settle, to now when I even bring in new staff, he tells them, Madam, no go settle. She wants to. So I would say it's labor, yes, high turnover, craftsmanship, dealing with artisans. But when you continue to do these things, and then I've learned to train my staff, I had to even change strategy at a time to say, okay, it's a suiting brand. I like to employ women. Not a lot of women go into suiting, like even from an artisan standpoint. I've had to learn to get them at a certain level, train them up to, and it's working for me now. So the challenges will be there every day. There's also access to funding, but I have been lucky, I live in Qatar, I've had access to, funding for my business, grants, investments, but in Nigeria, it's still much of a problem. So between funding and artisan, I know I would not die, but one day at a time.
You made this suit.
Of course, I made it. 90% of what I wear, I make.
She made a really nice piece for me too. Also, and it's beautiful. I've not launched it yet, but it's gorgeous. I can't wait to launch it.
Yes.
But talking about fashion, staying on you for a minute. Talking about fashion, the trends change so fast. So how do you juggle creativity and business strategy? How do you stay creative and still run a business?
First of all, I think you had this conversation with someone yesterday. How can you say you're a suiting brand? You cannot make a show for me. You cannot do this. I am niched in suiting for women. Yes, niched in suiting for women. So I've learned the art of staying true to what my creative superpower is, which is making fire blazers, making fire suits from corporate to occasion wear to casual. And we stayed on that. So, and I also tell people, like I said, I do trends. We all do trends once in a while, but let the trends complement your personal style. Let trends complement who. Authenticity is very important, Your wardrobe, I believe a lot in sustainable fashion. And it's not just about, the kind of materials. Buy clothes that you can use, repurpose, refunction. Reuse. That's the real superpower. Knowing that it's your style, you are buying this thing because I have 3 things in my wardrobe that will complement it. Exactly. So I would always pick personal style with a little bit of trend.
So let me come to PoshClick. Your work is centered around capturing those timeless moments, right? How do you balance it out with what the client wants most of the time, and also how you want to project your work to the world? Let me give you an instance. So there are some clients that come with an idea of what they have in their head. I want to look this way, I want to look that way. And you look at their frame, and you know that this way, that way that you want to look, you have seen one that will not work for you, right? So how do you ensure that you are able to still, make it right for the client, but also get that authenticity from your work that you want?
So what you just, question you just asked me now has happened one too many times. And my solution to that has been creating for them, because without them, our doors will not be open, right? So I create for them, and then I create for myself. There's also something else. We do a bit of consultation before the shoot. So where I get to know the things you like, I also get to know the things that suit you. So based on that, I would then know, how to photograph them. But most importantly, because I tend to connect with my clients, they trust me through and through. So when they share their ideas with me, I let them know, I don't think this would work. And sometimes they agree. But if they don't agree, I shoot for them, and then I also shoot for myself because my name is on the line.
Yeah. Do you show them? Do they compare your own and their own?
Most times they go with mine.
I had that with T.Y. Bailey, and I wanted simple.
Yeah.
As usual. She's like, this is your face. Like, there's something I can achieve. Yeah. She achieved it though, but I never posted it. Only me and my husband have seen that picture.
Are you serious?
There's this really sexy thing she did with the thing of, and I'm like, this one cannot go out.
Because we see beyond.
But it was beautiful. Yes. I agree. I liked it, but like, this ain't going
It's
out.
risky.
It's still risky.
Not your brand. Borrow me the picture. Let me
Why can't let me come to you? Any questions?
Please go on.
But really, so Why you want to go?
No.
So Ivie, let me come back to you, Ivie.
Okay.
I know right now there are lots of young people who want to get into fashion. They see you, they're thinking, I'd love to be an Ivie. How do you think, what kind of advice would you tell young people, how they get into the industry? Because right now, everybody just does everything. And then same question to you too, because everybody wants to do photography, is a big thing. Everybody says we want to do photography, but how do you start? What can I do to start?
First of all, I run on competence. You must be competent.
Know your craft.
There's a glitz, there's a glam, but you must know your onions. So the good days, the bad days, because sometimes it'll be bad. Sometimes you meet some client, when you're done, you have to remind yourself that I'm not a shitty fashion designer. This one just didn't work out, But that's because I have done this time and time again, that one experience cannot invalidate 100 other experiences of women.
I love that.
I see women who buy the outfits, go and still send me a note and say, thank you for how you made me look, how you made me come across. So number one will be competence, very, very important. Number two, building networking, getting into networks or building, forging community that would help you continue to collaborate, get into rooms that you can wait to get into a room 5 years. Through the networks that you have, you can get in there tomorrow. So build your network around this thing. Look for mentors. And when you're looking for the mentors, look for what are you giving in return? Help me. Everybody's pulling
for help.
Yeah, but I also am very big on helping people because I say my story every time. I am the poster child of, and that's part of why we're here, women pushing women, into rooms. But I'm sure they also push me because I'm competent. So that's what I do. But I'm also very big on leaning on, people's shoulder to.
So some women have helped you.
What?
A long list.
I have a long list. So let me use law of recency. My first woman helping me was when I was starting my career in Access Bank in 2007. And she told me, she said, Ivie, this clothes you are wearing, you're not rich enough to buy good suits. Leave these suits. Go and invest in power shirts, nice pants, pencil midi-length skirts, and heels. When you get to the point where you can afford it, you do that. And that's how my foray into fashion started. So that was even, she aligned, it hit me like a knife then, like, but that was good. And then coming back, I live in Qatar now. I have entered into, between Nigeria and Qatar, I've entered into fashion at the highest levels because of women who have said, I'm going to plug you in, plug me into a network of other women who plugged into, that's how I met you. Exactly, that's an example of how I met you and I got to make a suit for you. So I'm very big on, competence, mentorship, and then building communities around you that will help you advance.
Let me let you answer that question before we run off because we're running out of time. Go ahead.
All right. Can you run through?
Also, the question is women who have supported you going forward, and also young people watching you saying that they would like to also do photography. What kind of advice would you give to them? Two questions.
First thing I'll tell them is they need to be resilient because passion alone will not sustain them. Resilience is very important because you get to a point where you're all burnt out, you're tired, but it's that drive, the fact that I can't do this wrong. I must excel at this. They're going to keep them in the game. Second thing I would say is they should always do quality work. So while you might be passionate about it and you're resilient, also do good work, right? Because when you do one good work, it gives room for more good work, right? So I'll say do good work. And when it comes to mentorship, I'll say one, let the Lord lead you on that. And secondly, like Ivie said, be ready to part with value. Value is just the name of the game, nothing else. When you find someone who you really want to mentor, even though I prefer when they choose you, like sponsorships, right? But when that doesn't happen, look for value. How can you impart them, you know, and make them better, and then they'll naturally gravitate towards you.
Thank you so much, ladies. It was a pleasure having you guys on the show. Hope to bring you back again.
Yes.
Love to
We'll
have
be
you
happy.
again. All right, that's all we can take on this segment. We'll come back, we'll continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. So we still have our guests in the studio because there was something important we didn't talk about. That's the In My Corner campaign,
Yes.
which you guys are working on. It's an initiative you're working on. Please tell us about that. It's important.
Okay, In My Corner campaign is an initiative, started by Joko, and she brought me on board to collaborate with her. It basically speaks to women communities, women supporting women, and amplifying the friendships that women share, the connections that women share. I mean, there's this narrative that women don't support women.
Yeah.
Joko and I, meeting in 2001, bonded over the fact that my journey has been, paved for me by women, from my finance to fashion. Joko also shares same sentiments from her childhood to, her career. And sometimes she told me about an initiative she was working on. She had done a test run. And when she told me, I was like, why haven't you gone with it? She's a perfectionist, I'm a doer. And then once I saw it, I was like, nah, we need to run with it. And basically, it spotlights relationships with women. It could be friends, it could be colleagues, it could be sisters who have chosen to be friends, it could be industry competitors who have chosen to be friends. Any relationship between women that is sweet, that has longevity, that has memories, that has content. We want to spotlight these women and then share their stories, amplify their stories with the world. That's basically what they...
I love it.
So that
So we qualify now?
Of course.
12 years old this year.
Aye.
Whoa.
Next year, you guys
Yes.
must be on In My Corner.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Tell us more about it,
Absolutely.
Joko.
So In My Corner, came from a place of introspection, like she said, and beyond just, doing photography and running a business, we wanted to make impact, and also shed more light on how people who truly crave for authentic connections and friendship, female friendships, can go about it. So the stories on In My Corner campaign are stories, that you would listen to and you would learn how to go about, nurturing solid female connections, friendships, and alliances.
So
it's
do,
like
do you think you should go and tell the women in the Senate that didn't support Natasha?
Yes, they should actually watch some of the episodes of My Corner campaign and show them how it's
So
done.
is it a YouTube page or is it a conference? What exactly is it? The campaign, what does it entail?
So they get dressed in DWL. We do a shoot for them, and then we
nice.
also get them to sit down to talk about their friendship. Yes.
And then we amplify it on media.
Yes,
I
as
think,
well.
I think I've seen something like that.
Yes, this is
yes.
This year is going to be louder.
For the first one, we had Ifedro Simieti and Owen Mogiafo,
Yes,
a mentor-mentee relationship. We had Eniola Edu and Simbola Torego and many others.
I love
Yes.
that. Well, the good initiatives.
Thank
So you
you.
guys collaborate together.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
well,
yes.
Wishing you the best. Let us know when you're ready so that
Let's go to the Senate
we can
too.
amplify.
We will
for
go
you.
to the Senate. They should
go
learn
there.
one or two things about women supporting women.
Yes.
It's very important
Yes,
because
have
it
it
actually
going.
does exist, but people always, the negativity is louder than.
So we want to amplify the good stories.
That's all we can now take on this
Thank you
segment.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for
So let's
having
go to a
us.
short break and come back to bring in our next guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.